Alright, so let's start with the training. Fine. Yesterday I talked about a single file over here, right? That is how to find elements and all. Okay, so today let's start, and I'll create a new Java project named as day 5. Fine, and we will move over ahead. We'll move forward, and hold on. I'll add the jar files for Selenium. Right, I tried a lot about that, Anish. I think there is some issue with the workspace. Right, I'll create a new class, XPath identification. Fine, and we will now see how to identify the elements based on XPaths. Right, now these are some special characters which are coming up in the workspace. Fine, I have almost got the solution to remove them. Fine, I think I pressed some keys or something with which this issue came up. I am really sorry for that. Right, and yesterday I couldn't give it enough time. Okay, I couldn't give enough time to actually remove it, but today I will certainly give. Right, now over here, the first thing which I want to tell you is that what is XPath. Okay, so I'll just open a notepad and explain you the concept of XPath. Look, every person has a name. Fine, every person has a name. With that name you identify the person, right? So similarly, every object on the page has got an XPath. Every element on a web page has got a particular XPath. With that you can identify the object or the element. Fine, so let me take up a simple example. Again, I'll just go to Google and hold on. Right, suppose I go to Gmail web home page, and over here you have this page for entering the username and password. Right, if you observe this page in Firebug, right, and if you observe this email field, okay, then this is the details which we saw yesterday. We saw that it's an ID. It's with ID. It is with ID. I was easily able to identify it. Fine. Now every element on the page cannot have an ID. For example, the text over here, one Google account for everything Google, right? So this has got no ID. This is a para tag with class tagline. Or if you move up, if you look up at this text, then it's also got no ID. So every element, it's not mandatory that it will have an ID, but every element has an XPath. Alright, so what I'll do is for example, this is the email field. Okay, let us make the XPath of this email field. Let's go to the page source, and I know that this email field has got the input tag. Fine, this input tag is present inside this form tag. Alright, this input tag is present inside this form tag. So the XPath will look something like this, that input tag, it's present inside the form tag. So form tag has got the input tag inside it, right? Okay, now after this, if you look at this form tag is actually inside this division tag. Fine, right? So you can write something like this, that there is a division tag, inside it there is a form tag. Alright, now if you look carefully, then this form tag is inside this division tag, and this division tag is inside this particular division. Now the thing is that inside this division there are two divisions. One is this, the other is this. Okay, if you observe carefully, then inside this division tag you have got three divisions, and you are interested to go inside the second division, which is this division, right? So you'll have to write like this, that is, there is a division, inside it there is a second division. Fine. If I write over here 3, that means third division. If I don't write anything, that by default it means first division. Okay, so if I are specifically writing second division tag, so that means I am telling it that inside the division there is a second division, and then there is a form tag, and inside the form tag you have the input tag over here. Alright, now this division, right, this division is inside this division again, right, and this is the second division again. Fine. So this is actually again the second division inside another division. Okay, right, and this is under the body tag. Everything is under the body tag. Okay, and body tag is under the HTML tag. Did you get it? This is the HTML tag. It contains the body tag. Inside it there is a division tag. Then you need to go inside the second division, then again second division, then the form, right? So this is how you can make an XPath. Now this XPath starts from the root of the document and it goes till the element, right? And it will uniquely identify the element. This type of XPath is known as complete XPath. Okay, that is, it starts from the base of the document and goes till the element. Alright, I hope you guys understand me. If anybody has got any question, please feel free to ask. Please feel free to ask if anybody has any question. Alright, so if I go to my code, I am really sorry guys, I didn't remove this error completely. I've almost got an idea how to remove it, but I couldn't give it enough time, right? Or let me do one thing. I've got another workspace. I'll make your code in that workspace. That will be, or I'll create another workspace, August_2 I will name it. Hold on. Hold on. Right, I've created a new workspace. Fine, and I'll switch to Java perspective and create a new Java project known as day 5. Fine, and in this, as I did earlier, I'll add the jar files. And I'll create a new class over here known as sample and or XPath identification. Right, so over here, yeah, this is okay. Fine, I'll just increase the font size. Right, I hope you are able to see. Right, now I write over here the command WebDriver driver equals to new Firefox driver. Okay, and import everything. Right, if you hit Control Shift and O of keyboard, okay, if you hit Control plus shift plus O. This is the shortcut, right? You have to press all the three keys together, first control, then shift, then O. This will import everything. Suppose I have not imported anything in the code, right? It will give me an error, but as soon as I hit control shift O, it will import everything automatically, right? Now after that you write driver.get, go to the URL http gmail.com, right? Now if I write over here driver.find element by the XPath, and I give the XPath, this particular XPath, fine, you get the text out of that XPath. Dot get text. What will this be? This will be the web element. Remember yesterday I told you web element, whenever you write driver.find element, you get a web element. Going back to yesterday's code, whenever you write driver.find element, you get the web element. But we can write in one go, on this web element, fire the function get text or send keys, right? Type into this element hello. I'm sorry. When you run this, right, when you run this, element not visible. Okay, hold on. It is throwing an error that element is not visible. Let me run it once more. Probably I am making some mistake in the XPath. Hold on. Yeah, it's giving me the error element not visible. Anyways, right, don't worry. Look, the thing is, like I calculated the XPath right now manually. There can be a mistake which I have done, right? You can also get the XPath, okay, through Firebug. You don't need to calculate the XPath every time. Fine. What you need to do is that you need to go to Google and type over here download Firepath. Firepath is an add-on on the top of Firebug. Okay, go to the first link and you install this Firepath plugin into Firebug. Okay, this is your browser. Inside browser, Firebug gets installed, and on the top of Firebug, Firepath gets installed. Okay, make sure Firebug is present on your browser, right? You write add to Firefox, it gets added. Hold on and restart your browser. Now if you look at Firebug, for example, just a minute, I'll go to Gmail page again and you look at this. If you look at Firebug, you will have this additional option known as Firepath out here. Okay, if you click on this and if you now investigate the email field, hold on, select generate absolute XPath option over here, generate absolute XPath option over here, select that. Now if you look at the email field, hold on, this would be the XPath you would be getting. So I have the input number 15. This is the mistake which I did. Okay, in this field, okay, this is the input number 15, right? There are many input fields under the form tag. You need to go inside the input field number 15. This is the mistake which I had done. If I run this program now, so this is a very easy way, right? You can calculate the XPath from your Firebug, right? So you see that, okay, it is writing into the password field. Okay, alright, hold on. Did I investigate? I investigated the email field and it actually went and wrote inside the password field. Look, these Gmail guys, right, they are very, very strict about automation tools. Okay, they somehow have lot of, hold on, it's writing into the password field. If I write over here input number 14, I think it will write in the email field. Hold on. Yeah, now it's writing in the email field. So, it is an open source tool. Everything we are using is open source. Firebug, Firepath, right? Things like this can happen. Fine. You have to have presence of mind and a little awareness, right? Don't get afraid when you get errors and all, right? So things will work. Okay, things do work. It's not that they don't work. You have to make them work. Fine. Now over here, I'm sorry. Yeah. Now this was the complete XPath. Now this XPath has got an issue. Okay. This complete XPath has an issue. The issue is that it starts from the base of the document. Fine. And goes till the end of the, goes till the element basically. Right. Now tomorrow your developer changes something. Okay, and some more tags are added in between, then this XPath will go for a toss. Rather, all the XPaths which we have made, suppose I made different XPaths, say tag number 3, tag number 4, tag number 1, tag number 4, tag number 3, right? So if I have made multiple XPaths and use all these complete XPaths, right, then everything will go for a toss. I'll have to go into the code and change all the XPaths, which is not a very good thing. When you write an automation script, you have to write it in such a way that even if something changes tomorrow, okay, even if something changes tomorrow, you really don't have to worry. Alright, so the changes should be minimum. Why it is div 2, div 2, not div 2, div 3? Okay, the question, I'll answer your question. You're asking a question, Yan, that why is it div 2 and div 2 over here? Right, this is because if you look at the Gmail structure carefully, then this is the div, hold on, let me open Gmail right over here. Fine, and this is the XPath. Just a minute guys, just a minute. Right, and this is the Gmail page. Okay, now we know that everything starts from the HTML tag. Fine, in Gmail page as well, right, everything is starting from the HTML tag. Okay, then this is the first division tag. Okay, this is the first division tag, which is this one. Alright, inside this division there are multiple divisions. This is the first division, this is the second division. You want to go inside the second division, that's why you have div 2 over here. Inside the second division, then there are again two divisions. You want to go inside the second one, and that is why it is div 2. Okay, so don't get confused that why div 2 is repeating itself. It is repeating itself because this is the second division inside this, and this is the second division inside this. Alright, I hope you got my point. Fine. Yeah, so now as I was telling you, the complete XPaths are not so good. Although they are very precise, very accurate, okay, they pinpoint the element from the base of the document, but you should refrain from using them until or unless you have a dire situation in which you are not able to identify the element in any ways. You use this XPath. It is very accurate, and I have seen it working many times when other strategies fail to work. Okay, But the only problem is if something changes in the application, this XPath will surely change. Alright, so instead of complete XPath, we use something known as partial XPath. Okay, now what is partial XPath? I'll tell you, hold on. It starts with a double slash, first of all. Complete XPath starts from the HTML tag, partial XPath starts from the double slash, and if I write double slash star, then this means any element on the page. Double slash star means any element on the page. Right. Suppose I look at the same email field again over here and deselect the option generate absolute XPath. I deselect this option. Sorry guys. I deselect the option generate absolute XPath and I look at this email field. I get an XPath like this. That is double slash star, all the elements on the page, but an element with ID email. Okay, this is a partial XPath for the email field. You can also use this one to identify it. Right, I can replace this XPath over here in the code, and if I run the same code, it will work. Okay, it doesn't work. Hold on. Invalid selector. Okay. I have not a double bracket. Okay. You have to open the bracket over here and close the bracket over here, and when you run this, you see that, right? Okay. So this thing works. This is known as the partial XPath. Fine. Instead of star over here, you can make it more precise. You can put the tag name. It actually represents the tag name. That is, there is an input tag and the ID of that input tag is email. So this is how the partial XPath is made. It is better than complete XPath. Fine. But complete XPath is more accurate. If there are two elements on the page with the same ID, then it will go for the first one. Right. Now, suppose I am on the website, say in.rediff.com, and over here I look at the XPath for, say, this link, company email. So I get an XPath like this. Okay. Now how is this XPath made? How is this particular XPath made? If you look at the page source, right, then this is the, hold on, just a minute. Yeah. Then if you look at this particular XPath over here, this XPath, fine. This is the U tag, okay, which is actually this one. Now it's got no ID. Fine. This U tag has got no ID. So it moves one step above. It goes to this div tag. This is that div tag. Okay. Now this div tag has also got no ID. Fine. So it goes to this link A. Now there are two links. The first link is this one. The second link is this one inside this division tag. So that's why it's writing A2 over here. This is the link. Fine. This has also got no ID. So this goes inside this division tag. Fine. This division tag is the fifth division tag under this particular division. Under this division there are multiple division tags, and I am interested in the fifth division. Okay, right. And it goes one step above and it finds that, fine, this division has got an ID. Okay, basically Firebug looks for a tag with an ID. Okay, it finds that this particular division has an ID and it starts the XPath from this division rather than starting the XPath from the HTML tag of the page. So it starts from this division, it says that there is a div with this ID home wrapper, under that there is a division 5 and then A2, and like it traverses down till the time it reaches this particular element. Are you understanding the point how this partial XPath is formed? Right? On the similar lines of complete XPath, but it starts somewhere in between of the page from the element which has got an ID. Alright, fine. So you can use Firebug to get partial XPaths. You can easily get that. Fine. Now moving ahead, right? So you can use any XPath, complete XPath or partial XPath, and you can identify the object. Fine. Now, can two elements have the same XPath? What do you think, guys? Can two elements on the page have the same XPath? What do you say? Anyone? Can two elements on a single page have same XPath? No. Okay. Anybody else? What's your suggestion? Hello? Somebody was speaking something. Well, they can have, yes. I told you that two people, XPath is like the name, every person has a name, but two people can have the same name. That is possible. I'll tell you in coming classes that how you can make common XPaths, right? Suppose you have to extract multiple objects from the page. Okay, sometimes you have a situation that there are 3 buttons on the page, right? And you want to extract all the 3 buttons from the page. So you make a common XPath for all the 3 buttons and extract them. So I'll come over to all those things, but right now just accept this thing that an XPath is something with which you can identify the object certainly, and every element has got a particular XPath. Okay, you will not find any element on the page which has got no XPath. Alright, fine. Now moving further, I will first explain you the concept of constructors in Java, because without explaining you the concept of constructors, it is little tough to move ahead. Fine. So I'll go back to Java programming language now and explain you the concept of constructors. If I have a class like, say, laptop.java, fine, and I have properties of this class, for example, string company, the company to which this laptop belongs to, int price, the price of this laptop, okay, and hold on, why is it throwing me an error? Right, and say string model number, okay, the model number of this laptop. So this laptop class has got 3 properties. I have moved away from Selenium now and I've got into Java, okay, and I'm explaining you simple thing that suppose there is a laptop class with these 3 properties, right? Now in case I create the object of the laptop class over here, I'll write laptop L equals to new laptop, right? I create this object, say L1. Now I'll have to initialize this object. I'll have to write laptop L1 dot company is HP, right? L1 dot price is some price, fine. L1 dot model number is some model number, okay. right? Similarly, I create another object, laptop L2 equals to new laptop L2 dot company is Sony, fine. L2 dot price is some price, okay. L2 dot model number is some model number, okay, right? So you have this laptop class. I created objects of this laptop class. I can create multiple objects, fine, as many as I want, right? Now the problem is, for every laptop object I need to initialize it separately. Now this is a big issue because I am lucky that this laptop class has got 3 properties. But what if it has got 300 properties? Will I initialize all the properties like this? And what if I have to create 10 objects of this class? Then that will be a problem. Okay, so that's why we use the concept of constructors. Okay, what constructors do is that they help you to initialize the object in a very easy way. They help you to create the object as well as initialize, right? So a constructor in the class laptop, I'll make a constructor. It is something like this, public laptop. The name of the constructor is same as the name of the class. This name has to be same. There is no return type. Okay, whenever you create the object of the class, the constructor is called by default. Whenever you create the object of the class, if I write over here system.out.println inside constructor, okay, if I go to my this class and if I run this program, inside constructor will be printed 2 times because I am writing new laptop 2 times. I am creating the objects 2 times. Whenever I create the object, the constructor is called. Okay, right? Even if I write over here new laptop, you will see that when I run this program, inside constructor gets printed 3 times. I hope you are understanding my point. Okay, now I can overload this constructor. What do you mean by overload? I mean to say like this, public laptop, hold on. In this constructor you will pass string company name, int price and string model. So this concept is known as overloading. The name remains same, but the number of input parameters, they are different. Okay, inside it I can write company equals to C, price equals to P and model number equals to M. So when you create the object, now you can create it like this. Hold on. Laptop L3 equals to new laptop. You pass over the company name, pass over the price. Hold on. I'll pass over the company name as Lenovo, some price, comma, and model number. Okay, so when you write this, so Java will automatically understand that you are trying to call a constructor which accepts 3 arguments. So it will automatically call this particular constructor. Inside it, the properties of the objects will get enabled, right? You will give a company, price and model number to the laptop. Okay, so this way you can create the object as well as initialize it right away. On the next line, if I write L3 dot company, okay, and if I run this, it prints Lenovo. Yes, it should be in the sequence. Yes, Lenovo will go inside the first one, this will go inside the second one, this will go inside the third one. If second one is an integer, you have to give it as an integer. Alright, the order has to be maintained. Okay, if you look at yesterday's code, where I actually created the object of profiles INI class first, then I got my particular profile. From all the profiles, get the profile Selenium I had written. Then I had started the Firefox driver and passed over profile over here. What I had done was, inside my Firefox driver class, this was the constructor I was calling, overloaded constructor which accepts the my profile object. If you look at the Firefox driver class in the documentation, hold on. You go to the documentation, and if you look at the Firefox driver class, then every class has got field summary and constructor summary and method summary. Okay, if you look at the constructor summary, then these are all the classes these are all the constructors of Firefox driver. This is the default constructor which we use generally. Okay, another constructor is there which uses the object of capabilities reference, right? We will use this not right now, okay, but when we do grid. Okay, when we are working on Selenium GRID, we will use this, right? So just be with me. Fine. I hope you are able to understand, right? Then there is another Firefox profile constructor having the Firefox binary. In video number 11 I have talked about it. Sometimes the path of Firefox is not found by Selenium. Okay, so you have to give Firefox binary over here. But if you look at the last constructor over here, you will see that this Firefox constructor accepts the object reference of Firefox profile. Okay, and that's what I had done yesterday. Hold on. Yesterday, I'll just copy this class sample over here. Hold on. I'll copy this class and paste it in today's workspace. Right. Yesterday I had created this class and I had created the object of profiles INI. Right. From the profiles INI, I got the profile Selenium, and I called the constructor of Firefox driver which could launch the profile Selenium. Alright, so we used the constructor yesterday. I didn't tell you at that time because I had not explained this concept. Right, so every time similarly over here, I want to launch Gmail and I want that Firebug should be present over there. So I can launch it like this. I can actually get the profile Selenium from all the profiles, launch it, and then type in that particular element I can type in hello. Okay, right, fine. Now when will we use this constructor again? We will use this. Okay, we will use this again and again in different forms of implementations, right? So just be with me. I've explained you. This is a very, very important concept, guys. Please understand, this is a very important concept, constructor. We will use it again and again, right? Fine. Now anybody with any questions? Any questions so far? Anything? Okay, right. Now another thing which you want to know, which I want to tell you, is the concept of parent class and child class. Till now what we studied an interface in Java, right? We studied that there is an interface which has got certain functions inside it, and a class will actually go and implement the interface, and it will implement all these functions inside it. Right. Now there is a concept of parent class and child class as well. Can you just explain it once again? You mean the constructor or the implementation in Firefox driver class? Okay. Look, constructor is something which helps you to initialize the objects. Over here I was creating the object of laptop class, but I was initially initiating it separately. Right. Over here I called this constructor laptop, which accepts the company name, price and model, and it initializes the object inside this inside itself. Right. It gives the whatever company name and price and model you will pass over, it will give that particular object that company, price and model. Okay, so over here on the run I have called it. Now whenever I have to create the object, I can simply create it like this. Say laptop L4 is from HP again, and it's got some different price and some different model. Right. So every time I create the object, I initialize it on the fly. Laptop L5 is from the company, say Apple, right, and a very good price and some model number. Okay, so this is how the constructors are used, right? They'll initialize your objects on the fly. I hope you got my point. Fine. Okay, now again there is a concept of parent and child class. If I have a class known as say a.java, okay, and if I have a class like b.java, it's very simple concept. Okay, if I write class b extends a, fine. If I write class b extends a, what do I mean? I mean that if this is my A class and this is my B class, right, B class is the child class. B class will inherit all the features of A class. If A class has a function xyz, then that function will come under B as well. Let me show it to you. Inside A class, if I write a function public void xyz, and I keep a variable say public string x, fine. In out here, if I create the object of B class, B, say I'll write B equals to new B. Okay, it will be able to access features of A. I can write B dot x, right, equals to some initializations b dot xyz function also I can call. So basically you need to understand this thing, that B is the child class and child class will inherit all the properties of the parent class. Apart from that, it can have its own properties, okay, but whatever is in A class, B class can use it, right? But if I create the object of A will not be able to use the features of B, right? Inside suppose B, I have a function public void ABC, fine. Okay, I can access the feature like this, b dot abc. I can call this function, so B can access the features of A as well. This is coming from A and from B as well. But in case I am creating the object of A, right, you can, I am teaching you these things because after teaching you constructors and all, I don't want to move forward without teaching you the concepts of constructors and inheritance, because that will be used. Okay, if I write a dot x, I can write it. Okay, I can give it some value. I can write a dot xyz. Yes, you can call it, because both of them are from A class. But you cannot write a dot abc. You cannot, A will not have it is not valid. Okay, A will not have access to the features of B class, but B will have access to features of A class. That's why I had drawn a diagram like this, that whatever is inside A will be actually accessed by B. Okay, and whatever is inside B cannot be accessed by A. Alright, fine. I hope you got this point. Fine. Now, how is this thing helpful? Inheritance. Right. There are classes in Selenium documentation. Hold on. Which follow inheritance. I did not include the Java docs over here. I have them over here. Right. Anyways, I'll use them from here. For example, if you look at the Firefox driver, Firefox driver is extending a class known as remote WebDriver. We use remote WebDriver in GRID. Okay, in Selenium GRID we use remote WebDriver. Right. So Firefox driver inherits all the properties of the class remote WebDriver. Fine. For time being, just understand this. Right. Rather, if you go to Chrome driver as well, one class in Selenium can only, or one class in Java can only extend one class. It cannot extend multiple classes. I cannot write over here, had there been a class C, I cannot write that class B extends A, C, D. You cannot extend multiple classes. In Java, one class can extend only one other class. Okay, this is known as single inheritance implementation. Hold on, I'll tell you. This is one class, this is another class. Okay, this is class A, this is class B. Fine. Class B is extending A. If there is another class known as C, you cannot write that B will extend A and C. This is not possible. Okay, so in Selenium documentation as well, you will also see that all the classes, they extend a single class. That is, Chrome driver class is also extending remote WebDriver. Right. So they have given some code as well. You can refer to this code. Okay. Desired capabilities and all, we will look at them later on. Fine. This is actually used in GRID. Alright. Practically we use this in GRID. Fine. And there are a lot of things. Okay. I'll stop here. Fine. I'll start from the next class and I'll start with the concept of custom XPaths and all the other stuffs. Right. So please note this point of inheritance. We will be using this in frameworks. When we build up frameworks, we will be using inheritance and we'll be using a base class and all. So please note, I'll not talk about this now until the point we start with the frameworks. Fine. So please note the concept of inheritance. Okay. Right.